Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to the fastest growing sports gambling podcast in the tri-state area. We got AA Anthony Alessino. We got the graduate Brian Castiglione. And my name, as always, is James Hawkinjos. And this is Parlay-Vous.
So you think if Stafford was on a team for the last 3 years, they would have won a ring?
I'm not going to speculate on that at all, but here's what I'll say. I have something to say about it. Not about the last 3 years, but moving forward. Matt Stafford is going to win Super Bowls with an S. Plural, as in more than one, going forward with the LA Rams.
Oh my God, that is a Super Bowl's plural. That is an absolute absurd statement.
Fuck you. You heard it here first on Parlay-Vous.
That is an absolute absurd
Matt
statement.
Stafford is going to win multiple Super Bowls with the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay, so that was polled from season 1, episode 23. I believe that was the aftermath of the big game. Posted on Spotify. What date?
February 4th, 21.
February 4th, 2021. Is it still an absurd take, Anthony?
See, now I don't understand. Because
He kept the receipts, dude.
Yeah,
You're
no,
fucking,
it's fine.
He kept
It's
the fucking
fine.
receipts.
Before we
fine.
get into it, there's one more clip. This one is coming from season 2, episode 1, posted probably mid-August of 2021.
Odds to win Super Bowl, and then we're going to take a quick break. Now, I like the Rams before I even get the odds. I like the Rams here. I like the Saints here.
So we went on in that episode to basically come to the conclusion that chasing odds, we like the Saints in Seattle. Yes, the Saints in Seattle, 2,700 and 2,450. But the Rams were around, I think, plus 1,100. And before I even heard odds, obviously, we were down there too. The receipts were not kept for you, my friend. The receipts were not kept for you, my friend, or for you, my young brother. The receipts were kept for you motherfuckers, okay? Because if anybody wants to tell me, oh, you're full of shit, the Rams got hot late and you jumped on them, no, wrong. Wrong. I've been on this shit since before he ever played a snap for the Los Angeles Rams, and I want my fucking flowers.
All right, I'll give him his flowers.
Post Valentine's Day flowers.
I'll give him his flowers.
They're
So
fucking
we took
50% off.
Let me, and you know what's,
They got him
you know
at
what's crazy?
CVS.
You know what's crazy? The first clip you played, we weren't even in the studio. We were in the other studio. And he said that.
Yeah.
And I remember he said it. And I remember looking at it, and obviously my answer was, oh, okay. And it's not that I thought you were totally wrong, because I thought I did say, well, this year I think the Rams have a good chance at anybody. But when you said multiple, that's a pretty bold statement.
Also, it is interesting. If you listen to the whole clip in its entirety, you both had it right in like its own aspects. Like you immediately said straight up, you were like, well, if they don't have Jared Goff, then they probably win a Super Bowl. And you were like, well, Sean McVay probably looks at it and says, if I don't have Jared Goff, then I probably win that Super Bowl. And then he got Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I mean,
And now he won the Super Bowl. Like,
is there a more I told you so? Like, obviously, you to the clip. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But a more I
Oh
told
no,
you.
this is Hawks party through and through.
No,
I'm just saying it's
100%.
amazing that you kind of saw like the pieces coming together. The pieces came together, and here we are.
Okay, so now
You know?
now it'd be anybody who doubted you now. It's silly of them, because now on the run it back tour next year, it almost seems like, all right, man, it's super dead. There multiple is possible now, right?
They bring everybody back, and if Odell has a miracle ACL recovery,
Did he tear it?
what
They
I
didn't
heard
confirm
was- what I
anything
heard
yet, but
was
they
he
think
tore
it's
it.
an ACL.
Let me
Tough.
just preface this. I know I started the show a little braggadocious, I guess. I fucking got my own receipts and played them for the world to hear. Broken clock's right twice a day. All this fucking shit everybody says. I'm not saying I'm gonna be right every time. The year before that, who did we say we liked early? Oh, I told you just light your money on fire instead of betting on the Washington football team to win the division 2 years ago. That's what I said. And look, we all know what happened. They won the division with.
What did I say? I said the Lions were going to win the division 2 years
you had a
ago.
lot of your money in the Lions.
When
Yep.
the last year Stafford was there, I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
So
happens.
look, there's misses,
happens.
there's hits. If you're gonna get fucking raked when you miss something, I'm going to make sure that people know when I'm right. Not just when I'm right, that I've been right for over a calendar year, 56 weeks, I believe, since I made that statement. So that's neither here nor there. The big game happened. Obviously, the Los Angeles Rams showed down against the Cincinnati Bengals. How did we feel as far as the game went itself? Because I got to tell you, we were talking off air. Brian said it was a good game. It was a good game in the aspect that it was close.
Yeah.
But it was not a great football game. Like, just right off the bat,
You're saying X's and O's.
Right, so I laid this out for Brian before quickly, and I'll do it quickly again. Sans a bad, wacky interception. Well, that was a bad throw. The second interception by Stafford. It was a bad throw, but not entirely his fault.
The one that went through his hands.
Yes.
The one that bounced
off.
It was
his
still
hands.
behind the guy, whatever.
Yeah.
That interception, they're set up in field goal range. They kick a field goal. T. Higgins does not get called for a pretty egregious pass interference, in my opinion, on Jalen Ramsey. Like, the ref didn't just sit there and go, Jalen Ramsey just fell. Like, did you really think the guy just fell? We're talking about the best cornerback in the NFL.
It's pretty obvious. It was a pretty obvious goal.
Let me finish my point, and then you can go. Outside of those two plays, the Bengals are responsible for 10 points on offense. On the other side of the ball, between that interception and the final drive of the game, both Matt Stafford, Sean McVay as a play caller, and the Rams offense in general dis-a-fucking-peered. Now, I think a lot of that had to do with Odell getting hurt, but my point is, a large point of this game was sloppy, not great to watch football. Go ahead.
Back to just Jalen Ramsey. I horrendously disagree with you, dude. That guy.
What's there to disagree with about him?
He's not the best cornerback in the league. Not at all.
Who is? Who is? If you're gonna say he's not, you need to tell me who is.
And you better not say Trayvon Diggs.
Why would I say that?
I'm just saying.
By the way, the TikTok would have been, if I did one today, it would have been, what do you guys think about people comparing Diggs to Darrell Revis? Because that's the big.
And I would have said, I would have put my finger in my mouth and I would have thrown up right on fucking TikTok. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. I would have stuck my finger, 2 fingers probably, my middle finger and my pointer down my throat.
That's fine if you don't think he's the best, but top 3, top 5, he's not. Oh no, he's a top 5. Who's better?
Let's start.
This show is fucking. I feel.
Dude,
tense.
you got me on the spot here. I ain't have.
All right, listen. You could think. Let me say what I gotta say off Jimmy's.
Go for it.
Think away. Another point. Their touchdown was Joe Mixon throwing it. Besides that T. Higgins one, there was Joe Mixon throwing it. Yes. Yeah, Joe Higgins connection, baby. Anyway, so you're right. You're right. It was a sloppy offensive game for both teams, and it wasn't even that great of a game for defenses until the end when obviously the Rams turned it on. Sack brigade. Yeah.
Much the entire second half, the Rams defense on this game.
100%. 100%. But I agree with you. It wasn't X's and O's, the greatest, cleanest game. But you know the stakes are high. You know there's a sense of urgency on every play, and you know it's not a regular game, right?
It sucks because you kind of felt like the wind come out of the sails as soon as OBJ went down.
When OBJ got hurt,
and you can ask Ann. I was sitting next to him. I go, Bengals might win this game. Like if they just have to worry about Kupp. I mean,
here's what I want to say, and I believe
hold on
this.
Before you keep going. The rushing game was atrocious.
Oh,
absolutely atrocious.
Oh my God.
So if we just have to worry about Kupp, I mean Van Jefferson and Blanton. I mean,
this is before I'll let you finish. Yeah. But so if you listen, you know I love the guys from The Ringer. I listen to Russillo and Simmons every week. Russillo had Dilfer on yesterday. Talked about the Super Bowl. Dilfer, everyone's killing the running game and the running backs and McVay. He singled out one person. You said his name already, Blanton. He said the blocking from the tight ends, but Blanton specifically was so bad that they benched him and that they faked that shoulder injury. They were passing it off, and he probably could have played, but they benched him because the outsides were getting blown the fuck up.
Because Sean McVay was like,
this isn't a defense in Cincinnati. Trey Hendrickson's sick, but he's This isn't a defense known for blowing you up at the point of attack and stopping the rush that way.
That's super interesting.
So Blanton was allegedly, from Trent Dilfer, the way he saw the game at home, pulled from the game and benched because he was getting blown up.
Bryce Hopkins played pretty well,
And came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, but we knew he was there.
Third string receiver.
Right, knew he was there, but...
Yeah, but... So, here's the other thing. I 100% agree. But we were talking about that. He came from the Cole Kmet class, and remember, he was like one of the top tight ends taken in that draft. But anyway, I 100% believe in my heart that Beckham was going to win that MVP. And it wasn't, and not pregame. I didn't call it pregame. I did not call it pregame. I actually didn't bet on it. I tried to get Aaron Donald. I didn't get the odds I liked.
So
wasn't worth it.
You want me to do this right now?
No.
just quickly, we spoke about it last week on the show. We spoke about it all week. We spoke about it Sunday afternoon, a few hours before kickoff. It was brought up on Tierney and Tiki on the Fan today, I believe, or it could have been Carton and Roberts. Erroneous. The reason that you could not get MVP, Gatorade, over-under on the national anthem in the state of New York is because it's not 100% completely up to chance. Meaning, there's a guy who fills the Gatorade cooler, which you were saying last week.
Really?
People vote on the MVP.
Isn't that wild?
Really?
People vote on the MVP, which means it's not completely up to chance. And obviously, someone is singing the song. So in Jersey, you could have gotten all of that shit. But in New York, you can't.
That is fucking wild.
Isn't that
Right?
wild?
I fucking
I saw it. And I
put
was
it
like,
up,
Are you serious?
made a note to make sure. I heard it on the Fan going out east to get the computer.
That is unbelievable. Well, so this is what I'm saying. After I watched the game, I'm starting to watch this game unfold, and obviously, everybody in this room, well, you're too young, but everybody in this room had OBJ first touchdown. It hit, right? Golf clap it up. Made some good money. Loved it.
I was
Loved
so
it.
happy.
Recouped all the money I lost betting
Yeah.
on Adesanya to win by knockout the night before.
Loved
So,
it.
we
Loved
love
it.
that.
Quick ad lib had Cannonier in the third. Just
Who? Oh, did you?
had him in the third.
Wow.
Yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
And after that touchdown, I see him catch a few more, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna win MVP. I'm like, you're not gonna be able to guard him and come.
Odell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he went down, it all changed. You know, Robert Woods went down early in the season. He went down. What's his name? The other receiver? I can't pronounce his name.
Skrowinek?
Yeah.
Skrowinek? Yeah, the Notre Dame kid?
Not that guy. He's just not that guy. You know what I mean? He's not them, and that's
He's
the
running down his
problem.
leg,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's the problem.
Let's just talk the stat line real quick before OBJ went down. 2 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown.
He was one catch.
before he went
He was
down.
one catch
Right.
away from hitting the over.
Right.
By the way, by way of Simmons, who obviously is in bed with FanDuel, they get all the information because they work together. Odell Beckham scoring the first touchdown was the worst case scenario for FanDuel.
Yep.
Money wise.
And everyone
Really?
hit on
Yep.
it. And everyone hit.
Because the books made out, I mean, this is definitely a first segment topic, right? The books made out like a bandit because the most bet was either Rams -4.5 or Bengals money line, and neither of them hit.
Or the over. People love the over too,
Yeah.
and that also.
And neither of them hit. It was the Bengals +4.5, which nobody thought that was all.
Had you teased, which I almost convinced my dad to tease, instead he just took the Rams spread. You would have gotten the Rams at +1.5, +2, which would have been tremendous, and you would have gotten the over down from 48.5 to 42.5.
And you would have
And
done
you
it.
would have fucking hit it
By-
by a half a point.
You would have looked like a
By the
shark.
skin of your sack.
You would have
dude.
looked like
Yeah.
a shark. Shout out Dan, little Daniel.
Oh, little Daniel, friend of the show.
Yeah, shout out. He took a decent chunk of change, put it on the Rams, bought the points down to 2.5.
Wow.
He's like, I'm a shark,
Smart
dude.
guy.
I'm
What
a
a
great
smart
white.
guy.
I'm like, you are, dude. I don't know what to tell you. What do you got?
Now, to resume my point about Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, we're back
Oh,
on the
we're
gym.
back.
I knew.
All
I
right.
saw him firing
All right,
away on the
hold on.
phone.
What's
I knew
he
he
got?
was
What's he
looking
got?
I'll
shit
give you
up.
three. I'll give you 3 guys right now, and I'll give you 2 honorable mentions. 3 guys who I think are better right now at this moment than Jalen Ramsey
on.
are.
Hold on. This is a good idea. I like what you're doing here. Let's pick ours first, and we'll see what Hawk chooses.
All right.
Wait,
well,
what
I
do you
gotta.
mean?
He's gonna say his 3. Out of his 3, me and him are gonna choose what we think is best, and then you're gonna choose and think if they're better than Jalen Ramsey.
Go ahead.
I'll give you 3 guys.
Okay.
Denzel Ward.
No.
What? Hold on.
Okay.
Don't say
It's not your
anything.
turn.
Don't
Sorry.
say anything. Go ahead.
Xavier Howard. And Marshawn Lattimore.
I don't think either of those are better than Jalen Ramsey, and I don't like Jalen Ramsey.
Give me your honorable
also,
mentions because there's only really one guy.
I
that will-
also think there's one
there's
guy.
only one guy that I will accept, and you haven't named him yet. Marshawn Lattimore, great. Xavier Howard,
No, he's
he's
Good.
good, but I'm saying on better than Jalen Ramsey. And who was the first person?
Denzel Ward.
Also good. No, I don't think he's.
Humphries.
no.
No.
My 2 honorable
No,
mentions
Humphries
were
is not.
Jair Alexander and the
It's-
guy who had
It's Jair Alexander.
the guy on the Falcons who had a tremendous season.
Oh.
That guy was
yes.
amazing.
Which
this year.
guy on the Falcons?
Allowed less than. I'm forgetting his
I'll
name.
look him
Drawing
up.
a blank. We'll get to you.
I know who he is.
We'll
But-
get his name.
He did not allow more than I think it was 48 passing yards a game on the number
Yeah,
1
he was
receiver on each team they
nice.
played.
Okay.
Tremendous season for him. Big.
Jair is
contract
the
on
only one I agree with you that even gets
forgot about
close.
him. That was a good
I
call.
think you guys. I don't want to say you guys. I think you want him to be overrated.
Well, so yeah. So this is what I was gonna
Right?
say. Not to step on your feet. I'm seeing a lot of slander. It's this since Tuesday night now. So since Monday morning, I've seen a lot of slander on Twitter
That's what I thought it was.
about how
AJ Terrell was the corner.
Terrell.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, he's solid. So I saw almost the same tweet with a bunch of different pictures of Jalen Ramsey seems to be on the ground a lot for the number one receiver in the NFL, and all this stuff about him not being that great, and about how, first of all, that picture you posted of him on the ground, he was thrown to the ground by his face mask by a guy that's 40 pounds bigger than him, first of all. Second of all, that's fine. You want to slander him? It's because of his attitude, because of his brash personality and the way he is and the way he yaps on the field, because if you want to be the best, you got to fucking walk the walk and talk the talk, you know? Like,
I agree.
And people don't like his mouth. People don't like the way he forced himself out of Jacksonville, which was a shithole organization. Still
He was
is,
right. Yeah.
by the way. Because when people are that good, they expect, it's like Tom Brady expects a certain amount from you. If you're that good at any position, you expect everybody to work as hard and want to be as great as you do. So he got himself to a winning situation. A lot of people want to fucking view him as overrated because they don't like the off-the-field aspect of it. This is what I have to say about it. I'll take him on my team.
Oh, 100%. So
I'll
listen,
take him on my team.
he is not Darrell Revis, right?
No one is.
Hold on.
Nobody's
Hold
that
on.
guy.
Deion, Darrell Revis, everybody else.
Hold on. Now here's the gimmick, though. You can't view it negatively, right? You can't hold it against him that he doesn't follow people because that's the scheme that they run, right? You can't hold that against him. You can't hold him accountable. But yes, he is not in that class. He is not Deion. He is not Revis. But he's definitely in that tier 2. He's definitely in that tier 2.
Oh, yeah.
And what I'll say is, yes, he was on the ground a few times. We did see him. And yes, Jamar Chase did beat him deep. Clean.
I was about
clean.
to say.
The last
Clean.
play of the game?
Right. No. Early
Oh, I
on.
thought you were
Early
talking
on.
about- everyone's talking about the last play of the game.
No,
when
early
he
on.
was wide open and Ramsey was on the ground.
No. Early on, he beat him. And then Ramsey Chase rolled and got touchdown at like the 2-yard line. Remember that play?
It was like one of the first big plays of the game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but people are like not understanding. They gave him one-on-one with Jamar Chase, no help over the top, right? And with that no help over the top, yeah, he got beat. Jamar Chase is not just a rookie. He's not just a very good rookie. You're talking somebody who's potentially a top 5 wide receiver for the next 10 years.
Yeah. I mean,
You're looking
you knew Jamar Chase was going to make his plays regardless. They were just going to happen. It
so you
doesn't
can't say,
matter.
and then
But that's all the time. Whether 100 plays against Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase is going to best him a decent amount of times.
When Higgins.
Can we talk about, though, just briefly, we don't got to go crazy with it, the other cornerback who's getting dragged through the mud
God.
right now?
Before we go, because I don't want to do the seesaw thing we have a tendency to do. People get beat, bro.
Right.
Darrell Revis got beat. You think he never let up a touchdown in his life? The entire game is geared towards the offense scoring points because points sell fucking tickets. That's like in lacrosse when we used to play all the time. Guys would score after getting their fucking 7th shot on net without the possession changing and be celebrating. And we'd be like, yo, that's your job. You're supposed to score. You're supposed to beat motherfuckers. Everything written in the rules is geared for you to succeed and the defender to fail. So you want to show me he was on the field for probably, I don't know the number, but I'm guessing 93% of the defensive snaps, and he got fucking beat a few times, and you want to discredit him for that? Fuck out of here. Let's go on about Eli Apple.
All right. So I'm not discrediting anyone, and people get beat all the time. I'm more shocked at the amount of NFL players.
There's something we don't know about Eli Apple.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a matter of people getting beat, because Hawk's right. The tangent was correct. Everyone gets beat. It happens. But it's weird when wide receivers are specifically calling him out, as if like you're saying,
quarterbacks,
some sort of
wide receivers,
players are calling him out personally.
There's something to that, 100%. And I knew, we knew that. Well, we're Giant fans, right? So we knew when he was drafted that his mother was heavily involved.
Right.
There were instances where he kind of came off as a little bit of a crybaby or standoffish. Like, we knew that, right? But this is a whole nother level. Like, I understand the Hardman and the him and even the Tyreek Hill.
You're gonna say what I'm saying,
but hold
on. What about Michael Thomas? You were on his team.
It's a thrashing,
You were on
dude.
his team.
It's a thrashing,
right?
I mean,
so I think it has something to do with a certain level of respect or lack thereof that players in the league share for each other, especially if they've shared a locker room and a team together. But it also goes back to the I forget the player, but like, don't give the it was Aaron Donald. Don't piss off Aaron Donald because
Right.
And we'll get
He's not the guy.
I'll get to this later, but
Definitely.
there's certain the Steelers deal with the fucking TikToks on the logo and shit. In the NFL, you don't need to give guys extra motivation. You don't need. Didn't he say basically he was going to shut down Cooper Kupp? Isn't that
Beckham.
what?
Beckham.
Beckham.
He said
Great.
he knows his tendencies.
You do not need to give top tier talent on a hot streak in the Super Bowl extra motivation. And when that happens and you look like an idiot and have the egg on your face, people are going to want to tag you.
Here's what I'll say.
Just like Aaron Donald is not that guy, complete opposite end of the spectrum. Eli Apple, you're not that guy. I'm sorry, but you're a piece of burnt toast.
All right. Now just hold on for a second. The game-winning touchdown Eli Apple let up, right?
Yeah.
On Cooper Kupp. And we're like,
Listen,
we're treating this guy like it was a fourth-string tight end that he got burned by.
If you're gonna fucking,
I understand.
that shit,
I
dude,
understand.
you gotta walk the plank after. the fact.
I
Right.
get it.
And I just want to make it clear: the point wasn't to burn Eli Apple. The point was there's something going on.
It's astonishing.
Everyone needs to
Astonishing.
say something.
There were so many things in this game that I just like pulled from, and my mind was just like, oh, I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk about that. I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk about that. The play before the Cooper Kupp touchdown was not pass interference. Don't care what you say. And
It was a makeup call.
Campbell, the linebacker
Devondre Campbell
yeah.
said, every time a linebacker makes a play on a wide receiver,
it needs to be pass
people throw a
interference
flag because they can't believe
because
that
linebackers
a
can't
linebacker
cover
can
wide
cover a
receivers.
wide receiver.
Right? They can't fathom it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was to me, makeup. Yeah, but
So
find the makeup before it's a minute
go
left in
ahead.
the game.
go ahead. I have
before we
three
get-
more points I want to make on the game. Go ahead.
Before we get too far from Eli Apple, when you say he was Cooper Kupp, the comparison for the guy he was saying he was going to lock up was OBJ.
No, I get that. Listen, I'm with Jimmy that if you're going to say it, you better back it up.
Yeah.
But the slander that this guy received was like so much more than just like, I'm going to lock up OBJ. It was like right? It was like people were waiting by their keyboards. Professional athletes were waiting by their keyboards to go after this guy.
With their rings.
Right? And then Hardman shows off his ring, and I'm like,
Yeah, that one I was like, all right, Hardman.
You know, okay.
You were the fourth
We get it.
receiver on that team. I get it.
You
Yeah.
got it. We got it. Yeah,
You got
You
it.
did. You got it. You know, and it's like Eli Apple. Like, where do you go from here? Because
Burnt
if the Bengals are pissed at you for doing what you did,
Yeah.
and your own former teammates don't like you, whoa, it's a
All
tough league.
Try to do this as quick as we can. Number one, we're not talking about the most important Cincinnati Bengal cornerback who had an effect on the game without even being in a short the
Oh
Benson
yeah,
helmet.
that's right.
Vernon
That's
Hargreaves
right.
the third. What the fuck are you
Right.
doing in
Yeah.
slides and sweatpants in the end zone, bro? You're better than that. You probably cost your team a shot at winning the game, realistically.
I mean, it's 15 yards. Like,
let me put it this way: you didn't help from as a fucking injured scratch, not dressed at all. The day of, you could have walked in there and not done anything, or you could have hurt your team.
It's
It wasn't
almost
gonna get better. It wasn't going to get any better, but you made it way worse.
It's almost impossible to show up in slides and hurt the team.
Your job, if you're on the sideline for that game as a player, as a starter, which he was, right?
he was
Before,
Yeah.
yeah.
As a starter, if you're on the fucking sideline, now obviously I've never been on an NFL sideline, but I'm just in football in general. Your fucking job is one, talk the guys up when they get off the field, let them know shit that you're seeing that they can't see because they're in the game and you're not, and fucking don't be a distraction. If you're a distraction, we don't have time for you. He's a guy that probably stock got hurt the most coming out of that game as a player. My second thing, Aaron Donald. Well, I believe it was against the Bucks, the Aaron Donald's not the guy thing, right? When you fired up Aaron Donald, he fucking tried to rip that dude's throat out, and then what happened from that point over? Took over the game, right?
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep.
First of all, how strong is that man? That one forearm shiver. Joe Burrow's no small kid, dude. One forearm shiver shoves Joe Burrow.
That was
flying out
legal.
on
It was
top.
legal.
And Burrow wasn't selling. Like, he got
Yeah,
fucking
but it was
thrown.
legal.
No, it was legal.
Yeah.
Then whoever it was from
Offensive
Cincinnati
lineman.
comes over, fucking hits Donald, Donald,
good.
same thing, grabbing for the guy's throat. And what happened after that?
He took
From
over.
that point forward,
Yeah.
Aaron Donald lit up the fucking game. There's certain people
Three.
from that point forward
Yes. That was
Or total.
or total.
Burrow was the first.
That was his first. That play was his first sack because that counted.
3 plays later, number 2, and then at the end of the game, number 3.
I looked over right after like the altercation went on. I looked over at my mom and I was like, "You don't know about this, but that was a huge mistake." I'm like, "You don't know about this?" I'm like, "But that was such a bad thing that could happen." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "He is going to kill everybody on the field." I'm
Yeah.
like, "He's going to fuck everybody up right now." She's like, "Really?" I'm like,
Did
You're gonna see it happen."
Did you see the video of McVay
Yeah.
calling it?
Yeah, awesome,
AD's
Yeah.
gonna make a play.
awesome.
So my third. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that clip just hyped me up. Just when he walked over and he's like, "What else could you ask for?" Like 4th and 1, like, and even he looked at Aaron Donald. He knew he was gonna make the play.
Yeah.
It was great.
I mean,
clip.
Aaron Donald
He's
knew.
sick.
He's like,
He's-
one more play,
Yeah.
and I have a ring.
Did you
One
see-
more play.
Did you see the press conference when they asked him about it?
Yeah,
Today, I guess?
yeah.
He said, once I saw that they were in shotgun and they weren't running the ball, I knew Aaron Donald was ending the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
100%, yeah.
My third thing is this is another point of conversation that's been discussed a lot in the media, at least what I've seen, social media, radio, all kinds of shit. 3rd down and 4, Matt Stafford to Cooper Kupp on the exact same type of throw that was underthrown to Skronek on the interception earlier in the game. Throws that no looker
Oh, my God.
to Cooper.
So sick.
I heard somebody so this is Carton or Roberts. Which one of them's the Giants fan? No, Roberts is a Jets fan.
Robert's a Jet fan. I don't know if
Carton?
Carton is.
Might have been Tiki and Tierney.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think he's also a Jet
no,
fan.
it was Tiki
Carton.
and Tierney. I think Carton's like a Dolphins fan.
That's even
I
worse.
think it was Tiki and Tierney. They were talking about it because Tiki
Yeah,
obviously
obviously.
is a Giant, and then whoever else, their third guy on the show, big Giants fan. They were comparing it to the Manningham pass, and the one guy said it's way better of a throw than the Manningham throw was. And people were arguing about it. I'm not going to make that argument, but the argument they were
Okay.
using against the Cooper Kupp throw was he was wide open. If you watch that play from all angles, like I'm sure everyone in this
yeah, I
room
watched
have, the linebacker or
Bell,
safety was Von Bell, so
Yeah.
he plays both. So either linebacker or
He-
safety,
He
he was fucking there.
bought on it.
Stafford looks towards, I believe it's the tight end,
Hopkins.
looks towards him, and as he's still not buying on the look, it's when Stafford starts to throw, the motion of the throw, he bites hard and Kupp's wide open.
But bites
Would-
hard. He just took a step. It
Would-
was a good step.
Would
but
not have been wide open if Stafford didn't know look it or even just tried to look him off.
No,
and throw it.
100%.
It
100%.
would have been
It was
a
an
play would have been.
I'm not
winnable.
going to do
And
that.
I sent the tweet to you guys after the game, I think, or the next morning. I said Stafford's been doing this shit since 2009,
Yeah,
and no
it's
one
nothing
wants
new.
to say anything about it. But if Mahomes made that throw, we'd all be slobbering right
Yeah,
now.
no, I
Yeah,
agree.
Slobbering over.
I
it.
agree.
No, it's true.
But Mahomes gave him his respect. He
Yeah.
treated it,
Well,
yeah.
I'm not blaming Mahomes.
No,
for
no,
that.
no.
I'm
I'm not
it's
gonna-
Like, Mahomes is getting the LeBron treatment, but he's like not there yet. You know?
No,
what I mean?
100% not there
In the
yet.
media, I mean.
Not there. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to debate which throw is better because I'm a Giant fan, and that Mario Manningham
yeah,
play was just
I have to
unbelievable.
think about it. I
You know,
guess.
whatever. I'm not going to debate that. They were both phenomenal plays.
I'd say the Mara Manningham catch better.
Well,
catch is
yeah,
better.
it was right there for him. But you know, the Cooper Kupp, it was right
Yeah,
there for him.
the
But
way he-
anyway, yeah, it was a phenomenal play. I mean, there was so many things that, like I said, there was so many things that happened in this game that were like, oh, holy shit. The one thing I will say, we spoke about it very briefly about the run game
Mhm.
and how the Rams didn't really run the ball well. The Bengals were in 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 4 times in the game, right? 4 or 5. I could look it up, but 4 or 5 times. And Joe Mixon wasn't on the field for half of them and didn't get the ball at all in
Yeah.
3rd or 1 or 4th and 1.
Egregious.
And
They gave it a P Ryan on
he's
3rd and 1.
215 pounds, 5'11", all-pro running back.
I know. I noticed it too. It was very weird.
Halfway through the year, I was like, is this guy kind of like a dark horse MVP?
Un-
Like, and what? And you
Yeah.
don't give him the ball in the biggest game? I don't know. It's a little weird.
Just another quick Donald thing. I mean, if we want to break down this game tape, we could be here all day. But on that 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, they ran it to P Ryan, and Donald stopped him in his tracks with one arm.
Just grabbed him.
Reached out with one arm, grabbed him,
Just
and
grabbed
if you
him.
watch the replay, he didn't trip, he didn't slide. Donald's sheer force from his shoulder and his forearm stopped a grown man in the NFL.
Yeah, that's insane. But that's the dominance. So,
Is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer yet?
yes. Yes. He's 12th all-time in passing yards. So that to me, and a ring, 12 all-time passing yards. We know his body of work was unhealthy in the very beginning of his year, but then his career. But then he's been pretty solid for the last 8-9 years. Had his bumps and bruises. Guy plays injured. Always brings it. I mean, team leader. Can't say enough about the guy off the field, right? And I know that doesn't really matter when it comes to the Hall of Fame votes. My question would be, and we'll get their take in a second, but my question would be, is he a first ballot? That would be my question. I think he's in, but what do you think? And he's still got more to go.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. But go ahead.
I think he's in. I see how people could make the case that he's not in, but you're right. He still has more to go. I think he winds up in it either way.
So let me say one more thing before Jack goes. Maybe this might sway you a little bit. He is now responsible, whatever you want to say. He's now 50%, right, responsible for the two greatest receiving seasons of all time. Calvin Johnson's and Cooper Kupp's. He was the quarterback for both of them.
Yeah.
So
It's wild.
what do you think? Hall of Fame or no?
Definitely a Hall of Famer.
First ballot or no?
First ballot.
I think it depends on who's on the card.
I was gonna say.
I think it depends on who's on the card.
It's a card.
A second ring, first ballot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
100. Just guy's the definition of having heart on the sports field.
Oh, 100%.
Absolute
I
definition.
agree.
Great leader, great personality, great player.
I agree 100%.
Responsible. Missing the Megatron era, watching football later in my life. Guy's pretty fucking nice.
You don't know what it
You
was
don't
like
even get
because
it.
Cooper Kupp wasn't guarded like Megatron was guarded, which was even
I've
more
seen
sick.
the pictures.
Yeah.
In punch scenario, like two people
Bel-
lined
yeah,
up
that was
on.
Belichick was the one who started
Yeah.
doing all that.
And Matt Stafford, right? Matt Stafford, he would have thanked God if he won the MVP. There's no doubt in my mind. So for me, Hall of Famer.
He might have, but he went team first when they interviewed him.
Yeah, because he didn't win the MVP, so
Right.
you don't have to go to God. What?
I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I think a lot of people like to argue that a lot of his stats are empty, meaningless stats, and like, are you gonna fucking penalize him for the fact
Yeah.
that his team was bad?
So the games he wasn't in, he should have stopped trying.
We're talking about a guy who has been a starter in the league for 13 years, significant for 10 of them, and probably like a top 15 quarterback for most of his time in the. If you've been around and effective and doing meaningful stuff in the league for 10 years, and you win one ring, to me that's the fucking Hall of Fame.
So check this out.
I don't want to hear about his empty stats.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs is 11-10. Matt Stafford in the playoffs is 4-3.
Great. Mark
Right.
Sanchez is 4-2 in the playoffs.
No. Ready? Aaron
All on the road.
Rodgers has one game-winning drive in what they call crunch time or clutch time, whatever you want to call it. Right, 5 minutes left in the game with the game tied or down. He has one game-winning drive in his playoff career. Matt Stafford is 4-3 in the playoffs. Right, he has 3 game-winning drives, and it was back to back to back this year's playoffs.
He's also got some kind of crazy. He might be first active in fourth quarter overtime comebacks.
He has to be. I
So
feel like.
I'm saying when you look
Got
at
a lot of
those
them.
things that are kind of useless to the mainstream stat of yards, touchdowns, games played, like that stuff, and you look at those things like comebacks and I know you, like I said, you don't view separated shoulders staying in the game, but like when you do consider it, he's a Hall of Famer for me. Yeah, easy.
He's the absolute definition of an underdog, dude.
Did you have something, Brian?
Absolute definition of it.
Yeah.
Also, just a little quick tidbit not tidbit, I mean, I'm just peppering this in there. That little no-looker, that didn't happen on the field. That happened at 5:45 in the morning on a Tuesday in an office room somewhere with the kind of work these boys put in. Final point, not even a point, it's a question, more a statement for me, but I'm asking a question for you guys before we go to the break. Can we just accept the fact that Burrow's Bengals might never make it back? Can we just everyone's saying they'll be back? How many Super Bowl losing teams make the playoffs the next year? They've got problems up the wazoo with their offensive line. They realistically, the Chiefs probably should have beat them. You got the Bills waiting in the wings. The Chiefs aren't going anywhere. Herbert and the Chargers are going to have something to say about it. Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. The AFC is not a great place to be right now to try to make a Super Bowl in the next 10 years. And they have plenty of cap room, don't get me wrong, but they have key free agents that are going to be on the block this year, like Jesse Bates might fucking leave.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tyler Boyd.
yeah, Boyd, but one of their Reader maybe one of their defensive is DJ Reader on them on Bengals.
Yeah.
DJ Reader might be a free agent. I know this is Rams, but Sebastian Joseph Day is a free agent. That's the Rams.
Right.
But like they might. People talk about they need to fix the offensive line. They need to keep the pieces that they have and still get better on defense because to me, that defense probably wasn't good enough to win a Super Bowl.
I think the defense is good enough to win this Super Bowl.
This Super Bowl, maybe.
Right.
I'm not saying that
agree.
their defense is good enough to do it again, but for this game, they did it. They did enough.
If they
did.
versed the Packers in the Super Bowl,
you know,
they probably
so
would've went a little bit differently.
the question statement was, will they get back?
I'm saying, can we at least accept the fact that they might never get back? Because
I won't accept the fact that they'll never get
I don't
back.
accept
They
the
might
fact
never.
either.
They might
Okay,
never.
then yeah, I'll accept that because
Like,
as a Met fan, and I know this is baseball, but when the Mets got there in 2016, everyone was like, "Don't worry, they'll be back. They have the youngest core. They have the pitching. They have this and that." And guess what? They haven't slid further away from getting back.
today we just found out Matt Harvey was doing cocaine.
Oh my God, we're not gonna. That's what I want to tell you guys, but we're not
During
gonna talk
games,
about that.
yeah, we
No,
don't-
it's worse than that.
Oh, I heard all about it.
It's worse, but we're not gonna talk about
Popping
that.
Pills, cocaine.
Yeah, he was selling it,
Yeah, I heard all about
but
it.
whatever.
Oh, that's crazy.
No, it's spicy. Anyway,
That's the Dark Knight.
He
That's our
is the
hero.
Dark Knight, dude. The Dark Knight did rise. Anyway, so I think that I don't think it's crazy to say that they might never be back, but I think that they're good enough. If they show up the offensive line, they're good enough to compete consistently in the playoffs, make the playoffs. I think, honestly, in my opinion, I think the Bengals run the division for the next at least several years. I know Lamar Jackson's there, but until he gets wide receiver help,
Okay. You think they're getting any worse?
who?
You think Baltimore's getting any worse next year than they were this year?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get any
I don't
worse
think
than
they
they were
are.
this year.
They were.
Oh,
riddled
I'm
with
sorry.
injuries
I'm sorry. I
this
thought you
year.
meant talent. I didn't know you
No.
meant
Is Baltimore the team going to be any worse next year?
No.
Do you see them getting
No.
worse?
no.
Okay.
Record-wise, no. Absolutely not.
Pittsburgh with Big Ben was a playoff team. If they now, I know this is a big.
They're going to get worse.
They're going to get a quarterback. They're going to get a guy. Whether I don't think it's going to be a rookie. We're going to get to that in the next segment about quarterbacks
Yeah.
and stuff. They're going to get a guy. Let's just say they get Jameis Winston, or take it one step further and they put their hat in the Aaron Rodgers conversation.
Okay.
Are they fucking not contenders with the same team they have now?
Right,
with the-
but that's an if.
That's a big
That's
if.
an
right?
if.
And even Cleveland, like Cleveland's the only team that you could but they're still gonna have something to say about it. I don't know if
If
Baker's
any
that
of those
great.
teams are in the
but-
NFC East, they probably win the division.
Right. So my point within their
But
own
it's just how it works.
within their own division, there's competition, and then you look at all of the competition in the AFC from the outside. Like, how many times are you gonna run through a playoff series, a run of playoff games,
A gauntlet.
and a gauntlet, and you got to see the Chiefs, the Bills, and the fucking.
It's 100% probable, right? It's 100% probable. Now think about this: that next year Burrow could get into the playoffs and play Herbert, Allen, Mahomes back to back to back to go run the table
on the road.
Yeah, and then that's That's pretty tough to do, man. And then get there, and then when he gets there, he might have to play the Rams again. So I understand. Point being is, this is my opinion. When you're there, you have to win, and you see when teams get back for the second time, players get back for the second time. You see the desperation. You see Aaron Donald like, this is it. This is the Swans. If I don't do it now, I'll probably never do it. So when they get there for that second time, you see the urgency. So I don't know. I would agree with your statement that they may never be back, and they just have to understand that.
I 100% agree with the statement. You know, you can look at all the what ifs, the stats, what the problem is. You can look at their current situation. The fact that as a younger person, I think we've all seen the meme where it was Joe Burrow, lineman, anybody, and Jamar Chase, and it's Joe Burrow getting absolutely demolished, and then it's Penei Sewell,
Yeah.
which obviously that guy not a great season, but
He'll be
neither
great.
here nor there.
He got better as he.
And then
Yeah.
Joe Burrow could throw to anybody. That meme literally came true, and the internet is karma. And that is something in my life, I've seen happen. But we're also talking about Joe Shiesty here.
Well, I get it. So really, really quick, just yes or no. Did they make a decision taking Chase over Sewell.
They made a decision. Yes, that's
Uh,
it.
Did they make
Was
the
a bet-
wrong?
Oh,
Did
that's-
did they make the wrong decision? Did I say that? They did make a decision.
I'll tell you right now.
Did I say that?
yes or no?
Jamar Chase was drafted for a reason.
So you're saying they did not make it?
They did not make a
mistake.
wrong decision.
Did they make
No.
a mistake?
No, dude. Absolutely not.
No.
No,
All right,
I say
also-
no.
Absolutely not.
I say no, Brian. You have anything on the you?
I want the Bengals to go back to the Super Bowl.
You want them?
I
But
want
Will
Joe
they?
Burrow to get
Will
another
they?
ring.
Will
Will
they?
they?
Will they?
I like to think so, but I get.
AFC Gauntlet.
I
Dude.
know.
It's for real.
I just think it's more likely that they don't ever get back than they do.
Yeah, I agree.
And with that, I'm ready to take a commercial break. All right, guys, listen. Pat McAfee said it best. You got to look good to feel good. You got to feel good to play good. Well, we're going to help you guys look good with Saatchi di Dinero. All right, it's the finest Italian material. It's fire. It's comfortable. And we got a saving for you. All right, you're going to use promo code HAVOC for 10% off your total purchase at SaatchiDiDinero.com. Also, check them out over at Instagram at Saatchi di Dinero. Saatchi di Dinero, always authentic, never counterfeit. All right, we're back, guys. And as always, the best way to support the show is to support the sponsors. Support the sponsors, you support the show, you're supporting the boys. Let's talk about some. Well, before we get off, I just one little thing about the Super Bowl I meant to get into, but it's not about the game, so whatever. The metered metrics for television viewing by city. Number one city in the world watching the Super Bowl was
New York,
wrong. New York is way too diverse to have that. They're not. I don't even think they were in the top 10.
Texas.
No, you're thinking too much about it.
LA.
Not in the top 10.
Ohio.
What city?
City.
Oh, so right. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's number one. Cincinnati's number one. I think 85% of the TVs on during the Super Bowl were watching the Super Bowl in Cincinnati. Number two. Told you already it's not LA, so
New York.
New
no.
Orleans.
Nope.
Houston.
See what I
Nope.
did there? I know. Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm so
You're right, yeah.
silly.
As
I'm
soon as he
such a-
said I know, I was like, I know too.
Detroit was number two. I believe 4 was Cleveland. Columbus, Ohio was also in the top
So a lot
10.
of Ohio.
What's the deal with Ohio?
And
Cincinnati.
No, I'm saying our viewers. It's just,
Yeah, and then Philly. Philly was number 6, I believe. Mostly cold weather cities. They were joking on the fan about cold weather cities that are dangerous.
because there's nothing to do besides watch the
Super
game.
Bowl. So moving into, we're always, it's a what's next league. What's going to happen next? My
Mhm.
team, my team, my team. So let's get into it. My first topic before we get into what's going to happen next. Who's a better quarterback? Matt Stafford or Eli Manning? Go.
Wow.
God,
Why would
Jesus.
you do that? For anybody who, everybody who knows this show
Such
at
a
this
good
point
comparison.
knows that I don't look at what the topics are beforehand. I get hit with everything on the spot. So all my answers are literally, and when I hear that, when it filters through my brain for the first time, my initial reaction is, fuck. Now I gotta make a decision here.
Because basically, you got to argue hardware versus stats, right? That's
exactly what I was gonna
Eli's
say.
got stats.
Eli's got the ring. Yeah, but Matt Stafford's stats are.
Oh my god.
Much better.
I want to throw up that I'm going to say this. Matt Stafford's a better quarterback.
So I guess, yeah. But
Because if Matt Stafford was on Eli Manning's teams, Matt Stafford would definitely have 2 rings,
I was gonna
possibly
say,
more.
And if Matt Stafford had 2 rings, we wouldn't be saying is Matt Stafford a Hall of Famer.
Right. So
it would just be locked first ballot.
like if Eli
skip that whole segment.
switch it. If Eli was on Detroit, they don't do anything.
If
Like
Eli
they
was-
never do
absolutely
anything.
If
not.
Eli was on Detroit, he's not still on Detroit 12 years later to be traded to Los Angeles. in the
100%.
first place.
That's what I'm saying.
He never makes it.
I'm gonna go
fair
Matt
enough.
Stafford as a Giant fan, but that
I'm
is
gonna go Matt
just
Stafford as a Giants fan.
tough to
also.
say. It
Yeah.
hurts to say.
I
But
just-
it's truthful. It
hurts.
really is the truth. He is the better quarterback if you think about
I-
it.
So, if you look at like the winning percentage, because I know Eli was a perfect
500.
500. I don't think Stafford for his career is over 500. I don't think he is.
You got it?
Brian's going to look into that. So winning percentage and hardware to me, or if you're a diehard Giants fan and you named your second-born son fucking Eli because you love the Giants so much, those are the only arguments that you're going to really try to make and fight and die on the sword on that Eli, I think, is better than Stafford. Because arm talent, Stafford. Stats, Stafford. Fourth quarter comeback wins, Stafford. Being this good this late in his career at 33 years old,
Yeah.
Stafford. Consistency out of the play, I would even say Stafford.
Stafford is 86, 95, and 1
Yeah.
in his career.
Yeah, but that's a product of.
But that's a product of Detroit.
And so is Eli.
Right.
Maybe we're silly. Maybe if Eli was on a really good team all his career, he would have been really good. He would have been. I feel like there were years where the Giants were very good and they could have been great, and Eli held them back.
What I was just going to say, let's not misconstrue anything. The 2007 team that won the 08 Super Bowl against the 17-0 New England Patriots backed their way into the playoffs at 9-7, playing. I believe was it the Eagles in Week 17?
No,
whoever they
Patriots.
No, Week 17. They played the Patriots Week 17 in the regular
And they
season.
almost knocked them off.
Why did I think that they? Oh, somebody else played in a meaningless game because one team was out and the other team had locked up seeding, and that loss is what allowed them to get in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. I know they played the Patriots. Then they almost. That gave them the confidence that they could hang with them for 3 quarters.
Something happened in Week 17 where a team already had seeding, was playing a team that was already out. They fucking won because the team that was already seeded sat everybody, and it affected.
It kicked out whatever.
It kicked somebody else out and got the Giants in.
And then lined them up to play the
Giants
Falcons.
got in at 9-7 and ran the fucking.
They played the Falcons. You knew that was happening. Then they beat Green Bay with the field goal. Right?
Right.
And then a 49er game.
Frozen face game.
And then the 49er game with the fumble and on the punt in overtime, which was unbelievable. And then the Super Bowl.
I thought the 49ers special teams game was 2012.
It could be. I could be mixing both.
You're mixing
I could be mixing both rings simultaneously.
I thought the Brett Favre Tom Coughlin frozen face game
got them to the Super Bowl. See, that's how much it means to me. It just combines.
Well,
you know what it is, and they're so close.
Yeah,
and it's so close together.
Right, 4 years is really not, and it was against the Patriots. Both of them. It's like a disaster. But yeah, Stafford. What else?
I'm gonna say Stafford for sure.
Carson Wentz. Expected to be cut or traded by March 19th when his entire base salary will become fully guaranteed. $15 million of his base salary fully guaranteed. We already did the math I think I did it on my solo pod. Shout out Coronavirus. I believe where I looked at the trade and we discussed I discussed to the fans, Philly had X amount of wins last year, traded Wentz, got the pick, had more wins this year, made the playoffs. The Colts made the trade, gave up a first round pick, got Carson Wentz, did 2 wins less than they did the year before. And that already at that point, you chalk it up as a loss on the trade, on the value chart there. But now you throw in the fact that he's not going to be on your he will be off the roster right after or around the same time. No, right before the draft in the pick that you gave up. The pick is going to be made for a player in the first round that you traded in exchange for somebody that you've already given up on before that draft rolls around. Absolute disaster, dumpster fire. Worst fucking trade of the last 5 years. I mean, you want to talk about all the good trades that worked out for McVay and the Rams and the fuck them pick stuff? Imagine if it was one of these situations where they're looking at cutting Stafford at the end of the year because of how terrible he was. I mean, McVay would be fired if that happened.
McVay was putting his
Why
career
is
on the
Frank
line.
Reich I guess they just started. He's only been around a few years, but should Frank Reich and whoever the GM is, it Ballard still? Chris Ballard, the GM of the Colts?
I'm not sure.
They should be fucking fired. They should be fired. You gave up a first-round pick to go get a guy that you believed was going to be the guy. You're worse off than you were without the pick, and he's going to be off your fucking roster while you're still paying him before the pick is made?
Tough stuff.
My follow-up question is he done? He's done, right?
This is what I was going to ask. How are we going to play the whole, who's the next team to give Carson Wentz a chance? Who's the next team to give Carson Wentz a chance? It's...
He's not done yet.
The problem is, and I hate to say it, and we talk about how Daniel Jones is kind of he wins himself back into positions.
Barely, yeah.
But you know what? It's kind of the same idea. Wentz obviously a little bit more talented, but I don't know how. These teams I feel like are just Colts. Let's give Wentz a chance. He's our guy. We'll lock it in. Are we going to find out next year that another team's going to just want another team?
So here's how I feel. I feel like I feel like Carson Wentz, there's so many teams available, right? So the best ability is availability, right? And I feel like he's going to have a chance with a team because oh god, the door creaking.
Just slam it next time.
Yeah, right? He's gonna have a chance with another team because so many teams need quarterbacks. Is he done yet? No. Is he close? Yeah. Brian, if he signed a vet minimum to be on the Giants, would you be mad?
Extremely. I'd be infuriated. I'd rather just keep Daniel Jones. What are
You
we
would
doing?
be? I wouldn't.
What are we doing?
Oh, I wouldn't be that mad. I wouldn't be.
I feel like we'd be in the same.
Daniel
boat.
Jones plays 50% of the games anyway.
Right, but now,
So,
but
I mean-
still, Carson Wentz still has to be paid.
No, vets minimum. I said, vets minimum. I'm not.
No, I don't think so.
Would you
I
be
don't
mad?
think
Would you
that-
be
I
mad
don't
if you're
think
would you be mad if you're a Steeler fan? Say you're a Steeler fan.
If you're a Steeler
Let me
fan
just
and you
say
wind
this
up with
right
Carson
now.
Wentz, that's fucking terrible.
Backup quarterback money is around $7 to $10 million a year. So to say Wentz is going to get veterans minimum money next year to be a legitimate backup, I think is a stretch. I don't think that's the price. to
Who's the
pay.
quarterback we were talking about from
Chase
Pitt?
Daniel,
From Pitt?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, right? Kenny Pickett gets drafted to the Steelers, right? Steelers sign Wentz as a 1-year insurance, whether it's a bridge or whether it's just a backup, whatever the case may be, because they still feel like they have a competitive roster. They sign Carson Wentz to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Okay? And then they get Pickett. What Steeler fans mad? You can't be mad.
I guess that's the perfect situation
From the perspective,
of a fan.
Yeah,
right?
now, but from the perspective of what you were saying with the Colts, they better know something,
Really
right?
quick before you keep going, where's Peterson now? Peterson just got a job, right? Doug Peterson.
Yeah, he did.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. No.
Yeah,
Am I
it's
wrow?
Jacksonville.
I could be wrong.
I think it
I'll
is
look it up real quick.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville.
I thought he was head.
Yeah.
I was gonna make the joke about they should.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
I was gonna make the joke about they should reunite, but obviously
No, they're not
it's-
reuniting.
Well,
Yeah,
they
and
wouldn't
then-
be.
yeah.
They wouldn't be reuniting if Peterson had a job where they needed a quarterback, but they're all set.
No. I will say that I think from a Colts perspective, like you were saying, yeah, it's a bad look. And they better have a plan if that GM wants to stick around, even if the coach wants to stick around for much longer. They better have a plan because they're uberly talented there. I really truly believe that they're in that top tier of talent on the team. Like their 53-man roster is as talented as I don't want to
They were winning games.
I don't want to be like crazy brash, but it's as talented as the elite teams. You know what I mean?
They were winning games with Carson Wentz not doing much. We were saying it all year.
Right.
He wasn't losing it for them, and then towards the end of the year, he started to.
You know,
really
like a
lose
guy
it for
like
them.
Rodgers goes there, which I know Rodgers is the biggest question mark. Blah blah blah. Right.
Mhm.
But a guy like Rodgers goes there of his talent, even Deshaun Watson of his talent. You're looking at them like that's not a tough division to win. You know, like you got the Titans who are playing. They've over the last couple of years they've been very well, but they're beating teams up in their division. You know what I mean? They're beating those teams up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the thing.
And you don't get too many windows where you get to slap your fucking division silly around left and right all the time in the NFL.
Right.
Unless you name Bill Belichick.
So
True.
So that's how I feel. I think I agree with you, a very bad deal for the Colts. They better figure it out. Not saying they don't. If they're cutting him, they probably have a plan. You have to figure they have a plan. They're not willing to just throw the best years of Jonathan Taylor away, right? And throw maybe the last years of T.Y. Hilton, if they retain him, away.
Also, why you got all these kids on rookie scale deals because Darius Leonard either just got paid or is going to get paid, right?
Yeah. So you're
You're
not,
gonna
you know,
have to
you're
start
not
throwing
going
money
to do
around.
that.
What do you got, Jack?
Another guy to toss in there. Possibility. Russell Wilson is another guy to toss in there for the Colts.
Well, Russ is on this list, so we'll get there. Anything on Wentz
Brian?
It's over, dude. I think it's over. I think this was the
for him in the NFL? For him in the NFL,
as a starter, yes. In the NFL, it's blurry, but dude, he played. He's got. I'll give him this. He's got heart. Plays on 2 sprained ankles. Good. For
What
him.
about the Saints? Well, we're not going to get into that.
Well,
What about football team?
I think
Commanders, the
Sorry,
commies.
you're right. I'm
They're the
sorry.
commies
they're
now.
the Commanders now.
Not gonna lie, Brian. I'd rather take Taylor Heineke.
It's
I
so,
can't.
it's
Me too,
it's so hard.
It's really the only team I could see.
It's so hard to tell right now because every year there's X amount of teams that need quarterbacks, right? And every year there's X amount of guys that we think are worth it in the draft.
Right.
This year there's only maybe 3, depending on who you talk to. Malik Willis from Liberty, Kenny Pickett from Pitt, and Matt Corral from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
none of them would have went in the first round if they went in last year's draft. No chance.
Yeah.
So it's tough because we're gonna hit this period. Senior Bowl just happened. The week of the Pro Bowl was the same week as the Senior Bowl, right? So that's the first big drop, launching point into the scouting process. Between the Senior Bowl and the draft, guys are gonna fall in love with people. Guys are gonna hate people, and you're going to start to build what you want to do that way. Because if the football team sees themselves in a position where they're not going to be able to draft one of these guys, or they don't want to draft one of these guys, sure, I could see them going and try to throw their mix in any of these quarterbacks that may or may not become available. I probably personally would just go with Heineke instead of Wentz. That's just
Oh yeah, me too. By the way, Pickett, he wouldn't measure his hands at the.
Because they're little. Why do you
Yeah.
think he wears a throwing glove on?
He is the smallest hands ever. They said that it would have came in as the smallest hands at any quarterback ever.
Oh man.
To watch somebody play with two gloves like that, there's only one reason. It's because your hands are small. You need the extra grip.
Yeah.
It's the only reason. Moving on from Wentz.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. This is how I'm going to tease this next part of the segment.
Okay.
I have a bet proposition to anyone in this room or any of the viewers at home.
I'll take it.
If you're willing to take this action, I'm saying yes to a good old if prop bet. I say yes. Kyler Murray will threaten to, or actually follow through with leaving and fucking off and going to play baseball.
Damn. Everything you've said so far has just
I
made
can't
me,
even bet against you.
It's made me gone. What the fuck?
Which brings us to Murray on the move. Kyler Murray recently, to update anyone who may be living under a fucking rock, removed
So aggressive.
any affiliation with the Arizona Cardinals from his Instagram, didn't follow them, took it out. He only had 2 pictures on there, one of him in the Pro Bowl, and was it
One of him at Oklahoma.
at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, Arizona does something similar. They wipe their Instagram, and they just have the picture of Kyler in the Pro Bowl and the picture of Kyler in an Arizona Cardinals jersey. He made a statement today. I don't know if you guys saw that. I didn't read the
I didn't see
read
it,
it,
yeah.
but I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
I love the
It
game.
was
Hold up.
pretty lukewarm to me, what he said at
I love
best.
the game. Everybody knows I play hard. Blah blah blah.
Word coming out is that he is a little immature, a little finger pointy.
Wow, couldn't tell.
Not a great leader.
Couldn't tell.
And a lot of people are saying maybe the finger might be pointed at one Cliff Kingsbury, who we have definitely felt like is one of the worst coaches in the NFL for a while now.
Okay.
Would you do it, Giants? Would you
No.
make the move?
Nope, not interested in him either.
I think it speaks volumes, and the baseball thing is funny because obviously I know I'm a big baseball fan, right? And I think it's funny because right now you have the least amount of leverage you ever had to move to the MLB. The MLB's in a lockout. Pitchers and catchers were supposed to report today. A professional organization has come out and said you're not a hard worker. You're not first. You're not first in, last out. So to another organization, now that he's been out of baseball for the better part of 3 years, right? For him to make that jump, not saying that he wouldn't. I think you're onto something. Not saying that he wouldn't be like, you know what?
Trade me or I'm going back to Oakland.
100
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
He's going to try to use that to leverage the Cardinals if he doesn't ultimately get his way.
That's fine. But I think at this point, Oakland's going to be like, we're all set, dude. Because the biggest bargaining or the biggest piece that they're fighting over in this lockout now in baseball is they want to cut minor league teams and they want to cut minor league players and they don't want to pay all. They want the minor league system.
They
to
don't want
basically
to pay the single A guys the fucking $300 a week they pay them.
they don't.
So-
They want to cut the minor league system into a third, and obviously, the Players Association doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But regardless, so when you say something like that, and if Kyler Murray is ever believing that, and he probably is believing that in his mind that he can play come and play baseball, this is the worst time to do that. And I think as an organization, Oakland Athletics, I would be like, we just said you're not first in, first out. Like,
Yeah.
You're
have guys
first in,
that are
last
first
out,
in,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So we got guys, we got tons of guys that want to be
do
that.
that.
Right? We got guys. So that's the only thing I don't understand. And I don't want him on the Giants. I don't. I think he has been a little injured. I've seen flashes of greatness. Don't get me wrong. Better than Daniel Jones. Yes, he is better than
Without a
I will
doubt. Yeah.
without a doubt agree with that. But there's just because I just don't want I want a leader. I think everybody looks for the leader, the bona fide leader. And that's the biggest thing.
Also, let me cut you off quick. What happens this time next year with Kyler?
It's a free agent.
You gotta fucking
you
pay
gotta,
him.
Yeah, you gotta pay him.
You got to pay him next year,
Yeah.
so you have a year to figure it out. So
Is Derek Carr in the list?
no. But
All right. Derek Carr is supposed to get $40 million annually, they're saying.
Yes. Yep.
And if he's going to get $40 million annually, and I believe Kyler Murray's probably a better player than Derek Carr, probably, and his upside is obviously higher, right? Are you going to pay Kyler Murray next year $45 million? Stop.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So
Let's play a quick little game called Who Says No. All right.
Let's play it.
Kyler for Aaron Rodgers. Straight up. Who says no?
nobody.
Kyler for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
Nobody says no.
Kyler for Russell Wilson. Straight up. Who says no?
Pete Carroll's not there.
I don't think he's left yet.
No, he's still.
He's
employed,
still there.
but
Seattle says no if Pete Carroll's still there.
Yes, I think if Pete Carroll leaves,
Then they
already,
just
they
can-
already know the rebuild.
then they
is
just
here,
can
and we're
reset.
fucking
All right.
wipe our hands clean of it. You know.
I think Seattle just says no. If they look like they are on a death grip with Russell Wilson as hard as they can. They want that.
I'm okay with
They
that.
want him to be that guy.
Okay. 2 and 2 ones for Kyler. Who says no?
Not the Miami Dolphins.
You say no to 2 and 2 ones if Kyler's trying to
No,
get his
I'm
way out
saying-
anyway?
I'm saying the Dolphins take that trade probably.
Cardinals probably say no because I think they think they're Super Bowl contenders,
Yeah, that
right? Ain't that
Alright,
silly?
poor DeAndre Hopkins in that situation.
So the black cloud just follows DeAndre wherever he goes.
I got,
Like,
maybe it's DeAndre.
yeah.
I got 2 more. Kyler for Jalen Hurts and 2 of their 3 first-round picks in this year's draft.
No one says no.
The Eagles say no.
I was gonna. Why
You
do you think
think
the
so?
Eagles say no? Really?
Oh,
Okay, show your work. Go ahead. 4-0. Show your work.
I just don't think they would give up those picks. There's no reason to give up those picks. I think Jalen Hurts does not as good of a thrower of the football, but I feel like they're two in the same. And I feel
Kyler
like,
does everything better than Jalen Hurts does, and
but Jalen
they
Hurts,
were formidable this year with Jalen Hurts not really being a great thrower of the football.
Jalen Hurts is a leader. Jalen Hurts is, and I can't confirm this, but he definitely seems like a first in, last out guy. Definitely. Even through his time in college, right? He seems like that guy. They did have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL, right? And that was definitely a large part into him. I think he's still young. I think he's one of those guys that I'm not saying he's ever going to be a superstar. What I'm saying is I don't think Kyler Murray's ever going to be a superstar. Maybe this is more of a knock on Kyler Murray than it is sending the flowers to Jalen Hurts. But I think those picks are too valuable at this point. I really do. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't think Kyler Murray moves the needle for the Eagles to Super Bowl contenders. I think you build and you build and you build, and if it's not there, then you reset. But right now, keep building. You're still in that build mode. That's why I say no. What about you? See, when you break it down, it's not.
I could see it, but you make a good point about the picks. You're pretty much throwing this way and probably the next 2 years away,
Basketball
hoping
and
that
football.
Kyler.
Who just threw the immediate future away in the hopes that they could win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The Rams?
Los Angeles
Yeah.
Rams.
No, I
and the
know.
Colts.
Not
like-
the way the Rams did.
I understand. 100% I
Not to
understand.
the same magnitude.
I 100% understand, but in a lesser, right? But it still stings. So think about if it happened to the Rams, right? It would sting worse than it stings the Colts. But we're sitting here saying fire everybody in Indy, and that was they risked this much. The Rams risked this much.
Yeah.
So if the Eagles go all out, I don't
want to get into it that much, but Carson Wentz was always viewed way more as a reclamation project than Stafford would have
Yeah.
been coming out of Detroit. Stafford, especially the last few years, it was always viewed as Detroit's the problem, not Stafford.
100%.
And also, Kyler Murray isn't really a reclamation project on the field. He just seems to be a bratty little kid that's frustrated. So you're not taking that same calculated risk, right, that you would be taking with someone we know needs to get it turned back around.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's playing the field as
You know, and to even go off that, you know, again, it's the money issue. So I'm trading 2 number ones to now have to pay this guy after this season. And if I don't decide to lock this guy up too, I would imagine he would want, not record breaking, but unbelievable numbers, top 5 QB numbers. Is it? Tell me who's here going to dispute Kyler Murray hits free agency or his contract expires and he's not going to ask for top 5 QB money? Who's going to say no? Who's going to say that I'm wrong in him asking for top 5 money?
I don't. He's gonna ask for top
And
5.
I, you know what? Give me Jalen. Give me Jalen all day on that. That's.
I understand that you don't want to give up all those assets for a guy that might walk at the end of the year. You have this little thing called the franchise tag that you can use twice, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, which
Dak
is
Prescott knows about it.
Which is that point at $40 million, or let's say 30.
Well, the idea of franchise tagging the guy one time is to
Lock up one.
franchise tag him and then get the deal done
Yeah.
before the deadline, and then that number means nothing. One more, obviously, this is barring what happens with the United States legal system. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, straight up. 2 disgruntled guys, not happy where they are. See you both fucking never.
I think
That
the
to me would
Texans
be
say
the-
yes.
That to me would be the most poetic trade.
So you say Texans say yes
Why wouldn't they?
because Kyler's not Deshaun.
Deshaun's never playing for the Houston
I know,
Texans again.
I know.
If it's
but
Kyler for Deshaun, or if it's Tua and a couple of picks that you don't know what you're going to get, or if it's fucking anybody who's giving you a bunch of picks, picks only hit if you're lucky at a 50% rate in the first round. You're getting a proven commodity in Kyler Murray for a guy that has zero fucking interest in ever putting on your jersey again.
But that's their fault.
Regardless, that doesn't matter.
I think the Texans asked for more. Is that fucked up? I think the
No,
Texans
they
asked for
probably do
more.
ask for more.
So
They
for the
probably want
purpose
some
of the
picks.
game,
If they ask for more, you go fuck yourself.
for the purpose of the game, to reunite Watson and Hopkins. All right, for the purpose of the game, I'll say they all parties agree.
You guys in agreement?
I mean,
It's tough stuff, dude.
I think you're right. I think the Texans want more, but I don't think they.
It's close.
I don't think
mean,
they get more. But
I mean, if they're not going to go another year without trading him, if he clears the allegations, so if he does, they're going to shop him, and the best number is going to get him. And if the best number, like Jimmy said, is a proven guy, like Daniel, perfect example, Daniel Jones in 2 firsts, right? Or Kyler Murray, what would you rather?
You telling me one of the first this year and a future first, or both first round picks?
Let's say
this year?
tomorrow he gets cleared of allegations. The Giants give up both firsts right now, and Daniel Jones,
to go get Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Would if you're the Texans, would you take that over Kyler Murray straight up for Watson? That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be best offer wins.
See, like
the 2 picks make it
if
interesting. for the
you're
Texans.
in the business, if you're in the business of putting on the best product on the field and always trying to win every football game, then the trade is to go get Kyler Murray. But, and I know we haven't said this off air yet, they hired who'd they just hire as their head coach? Why can't I?
Which team?
The
Texans.
Texans. I keep wanting to say Romeo Crennel, but it's not Romeo Crennel.
No, it's
Is it the quarterback or no?
No, he Lovie Smith.
I was gonna say.
Lovie
I was gonna say Lovey Hugh.
Fucking Smith.
Lovey Smith.
No,
Lovey Big Beard. Baby.
no discredit to Lovie Smith. He's a fine coach. He had a pretty decent stint coaching the
He's
Chicago
a fine
Bears.
young man.
No, that's my point. Is he's not a young man. He's into his fucking
I know,
70s.
I know.
He hasn't been a head coach since he coached, I believe, the Chicago Bears in the mid
You think he's
2000s.
70? You just fucked me up.
He's
He might
definitely in his 70s.
63.
63?
Yeah. Put some respect on.
Sorry,
it.
I apologize. Still older towards the back end of his career. And it seemed very much like they kind of just, like I said, has there ever been more of a lame duck head coach the minute they were hired than Lovie Smith was? because it felt like with the Flores situation. Now I'm just saying how it felt. I'm not reporting anything. It just felt like they either someone might have told them, hey, maybe go in this direction, or they just felt like it would be a better look if they hired Lovie Smith. Maybe he just knocked the interview out and they really did feel like he was the best guy for the job.
Yeah, I don't buy that, what you're saying, but it's fine. I mean, I could see it, but I don't buy it.
I'm just putting all things out.
Because why
there.
not just hire Brian Flores?
I think people are going to
Well,
stay away
we
from
already-
him because of the
we
That's
already-
silly.
We
That's
already,
fucking
we already
silly.
Well,
discussed
it's
it.
just
That
the way
once
it is.
we already discussed that once Brian on the show. That once Brian Flores went and had filed the lawsuit, he definitely took himself out of coaching. This
But he
year.
said that too, and he said
yeah,
that when
which
he
is admirable.
Here we go. See, good. Here we go. Because now I got to say it, right? Now I have to be the one to say it. The difference between Colin Kaepernick and everything that he was doing, right, and Brian Flores, and although Colin Kaepernick was suing and this and going against the NFL, right, and Brian Flores doing that, the difference is Brian Flores can coach a football team. Colin Kaepernick cannot play quarterback in the NFL.
Agreed.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Agreed.
So I would have really liked to see somebody be ballsy through the lawsuit and say, "Nah, fuck that. Come on. We still need a coach. We're still looking. You were always a candidate before this came out. Come down. We want you." And I would really have loved to see that
especially
because
the number one guy in the public eye the entire time that's been get me Deshaun Watson, get me Deshaun Watson, get me Deshaun Watson.
exactly.
Then you might be able to rectify the Deshaun Watson situation, and you're a playoff contender next year. We're getting a little off track. The reason I brought up Lovie Smith to begin with is because with that coaching hire, with the weight, they just brought in Caserio last year. They just brought in Cully for one and done. It doesn't seem like they're in a win now mode. It seems like they're looking to build for the future. So you would go and take Daniel Jones and the picks instead of taking Kyler and
Okay.
marrying yourself to the next 4 or 5 years. We got to do everything we can right now. That was my whole point with the Lovie Smith thing. That's all. You got something, Jack?
I was gonna say I feel like the biggest difference, just Brian Flores is my big tidbit. He went after the Shield, and if you ask an NFL player about, what do you think about Brian Flores? There's piss running down that player's leg, dude. You don't attack the Shield. That's something that NFL players swear by.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
you don't.
That is
No,
like,
but that's what I'm
you
saying.
don't
I would
do
have
that.
really loved for an NFL team to just be like, "Fuck all that noise.
Yeah.
Watch how quickly it ends." It wouldn't end. I understand what you're saying. It wouldn't end, but at the same time, Brian Flores he would still go through the process of the legality behind it. But at the same time, he gets signed. He shakes hands with the Texans owner, right? And then he says, "It's time to go to work." Like
And on the
it's
back
still
end of
time
that-
to go to work. So
I obviously it wasn't going to be this year. We figured that out a few weeks ago. I do think that we will see him coaching again within
he needs to.
probably as soon as next coaching cycle he gets hired, honestly. And he's a damn good coach. And everything that's coming out against Miami, I mean, he fucking won all those games in spite of
It's
everything working
amazing.
against
It's
him.
amazing that if that guy and I know we're off topic, but if the Miami Dolphins owner
Stephen Ross.
that he's under investigation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I told you this, that he was offering the head coach $100,000.
No, but did you see what the penalty is?
making himself? I don't know. No.
If he gets caught giving money to force to lose out, right? The penalty, the NFL is saying, the huge penalty. It's like serious.
Don't
ready?
tell me it's just draft picks and cash.
It's some draft picks. It's a monetary fine, right? Oh, and this is the best part. He can't vote on the owner's board anymore.
They should just
Fucking disgusting.
make him fucking
How
sell
about
the team.
how about 10 years in prison?
Yeah.
How about that?
Well,
Sell
what
the
about this?
team.
This is what we were talking about, Brian. I don't know if this was on podcast, off podcast, if you were here or not. I'll do it quick. The same time period, 2019, when he was allegedly offering the 6 figures per loss to Brian Flores,
Yeah.
he had just invested in a startup company doing what?
Don't know.
Sports gambling.
Yeah, which is also fucking
So now
illegal.
we're talking about insider trading, basically.
Also fucking illegal.
You're fucking
You would think
investing-
that the Giants fucking
you would think that
owner told fucking Joe Judge, lose on purpose, I'll give you money when we're quarterback sneaking on 3rd and fucking 13. It's amazing. It's amazing.
My last remark is, based on your hypothetical, Brian Flores signed with the Texans. if that ever would have happened, watch the Texans organization burn to the ground. Burn
Why?
in plain sight. You don't fuck with the Shield, dude. That's
Here's the
That
thing:
is
the Shield's gonna get fucked harder probably if everything in this lawsuit holds up, which it seems like it does. They're probably gonna get bent over in this lawsuit, but we'll see. It's hard to make any statements like that before we know how it ends in court. I don't agree. I think Brian Flores is gonna get another shot, and he should, and he's
hope he
probably gonna wind up 10 years from now being like, oh, remember when Hall of Fame coach Brian Flores had that debacle?
Yeah, a
in
little
Miami?
run in. Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
called out the NFL.
100%.
Remember when he challenged the Shield and won? So, moving right along, discount double check time. Mr. Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, looked like I know I saw this joke on Twitter. I didn't make this up my own. At the NFL awards ceremony, I saw a meme. It was a picture of him with his MVP trophy. Did you see this?
I don't know. I might have.
It was did you see how he looked?
Yeah, I did.
It was a picture of him with how he looked holding the trophy, and the caption was when you just sold the most Chevy Silverados in the tri-state area this quarter.
God.
This is how obviously we've talked about Rodgers and speculated about his future on this show all year long. I've kind of lessened my stance. I now have it at a 33% three-way tie.
Okay.
33% of me feels like he will wind up in Denver. 33% of me thinks he will stay in Green Bay. 33% of me thinks he will retire. Those are the only three ways I see it going, and right now I couldn't put my finger on it. So, 4-0, guys.
I'm in the same boat. I have no idea. I
What?
think if anything, he stays with the Packers.
All right, I'll do
You
it.
don't
I'll
think so?
break it to 25% since we're doing the fucking game. 25% retire. 25% Packers. 25% Denver. He just missed 25%. No, 49ers. Yeah.
take that and put that on the Steelers instead of the 49ers. I've had a fandom for the Packers. When I first started playing football, I was on the Green Bay Packers as a child.
Okay.
Fell in love with the team through that. Fell in love with Aaron Rodgers through that. After the last season, I hate to say it, I couldn't give a fuck about that guy. That guy seems like a whiny baby this entire year.
All right, I like it.
I love you, Aaron. I've loved watching
Love you,
football.
but fuck you.
Dude, I've watched your football, and I've loved it. I've loved seeing you. Discount, double check, all for it, dude. Last year, we were screaming Big Bob Tonyan. Nobody knew who the fuck that was at all before you started throwing to that guy. We love you, dude. But this year, it's not looking good.
He's in the MVP.
He's in your MVP, and you don't look good, dude.
And it's crazy. That's
you
crazy.
don't.
That's an incredible take, and people probably agree with him. Like, he's the MVP, and it's like,
Wasn't
well,
good enough. Look, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, dude. I mean,
This is Aaron Rodgers' heel turn, dude.
What? No.
It's happening.
It's happened already, bro.
yeah,
He's been.
he
He's a
turned.
top heel in the company, dude.
His fucking
He's a-
solidified heel turn was when he lied about being vaccinated, dude. If it wasn't already before
That was peak heel turn, dude. Now he's
I'm-
turning back
listen, dude,
face.
Going out on a limb. It's all Shailene Woodley's fault. Now I'm
I
gonna
won't
go ahead
disagree.
and tell you the option I prefer, and I really hope we get to see Aaron Rodgers in Denver.
Denver.
Denver's nice. I still like Pittsburgh too, but I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
It's got to be Denver, dude.
So going back to how we opened the show with the Burrow thing, if Rodgers is in Pittsburgh next year, they're not going back to the Super Bowl within the next 3 years.
Who?
That's fair.
The Bengals.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, nah, dude.
No
it's not
chance.
happening.
No, but that's,
Last guy on the quarterback carousel, potential movement. Another guy that we've been talking about this since this time last year, Dangerous Wilson, Mr. Russell. Hustle, Russell, and Bustle.
Is he out?
Does he stay? I don't see a world where his situation in Seattle's rectified. He made this whole big stink last year, went out and handpicked his own offensive coordinator. They made these changes. They're going to try to make it work. They come out and fucking the pick they gave up for Blitz Boy turns into a top 10 pick, which 2 years ago, no. If I told you 2 years ago when they made that trade, one of those picks is going to be in the top 10, you would have fought me over it.
Yeah, I would have.
I think Seattle's just not a great place to be. You know, obviously married to Sierra, that's going to play a role in it. And we talk about this with a lot of players, specifically quarterbacks. We always just assume whatever they want to do after football, they're going to be able to do. Every TV deal, Saturday Night Live, whatever,
Yeah.
commercials. Not everybody wants to do that, but Russ seems like the guy who's already for about 3 or 4 years now has his eye on life after football
Yeah.
and wants to start building the Russell Wilson brand. He spent 12 years, right? 12 years, 2012 draft, 10 years building up the Seattle Seahawks brand, who were trash before he got there. They were trash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Won a Super Bowl, played in 2, did everything he could for the city. They're not doing, the organization isn't doing to him what he's owed, at least in his eyes. He wants to build his personal marketing brand. His wife is a performer. Probably want to be somewhere where the lights are a little brighter, cameras are a little bigger. I mean, New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, although now that Josh McDaniels is there, I think you could scratch that because I think Derek Carr is the perfect quarterback for what McDaniels is going to want to do. Los Angeles, another, but now you're talking about teams that are all set. San Fran might need a quarterback, but again, I mean that's close enough to LA, right?
They're not going to trade San Fran. They're not going to trade Russell to
inside
San
of the
Fran.
division.
Not in the
No
division,
way,
yeah.
no way.
So the two things I'll say is, I'll say three things. I think it's the easiest thing to do is to execute a trade for Russell Wilson because I think his value is at an all-time low for somebody of his caliber. I think because he's a little older, you could probably get him for a little cheaper than you could get someone like Deshaun Watson or Kyler Murray. So the Giants wanted to go all in and then spend the next 5 years looking for the heir to Russell Wilson. And he was, you want to call him a bridge quarterback, a 5-year bridge or a 4-year bridge where you feel like we might be able to do something, but still we know we don't have him for the next decade, right? Something like that. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I agree with what you say about the brand. I agree with what you say that it's probably done in Seattle. Here's the two things I'll say. Ryan Clark says on ESPN the other day that Russell Wilson is not that guy. He's not Tom Brady. He's not anywhere near Tom Brady. He's not in the air of Mahomes. He's not in the air of he's not a top-tier quarterback. Yes, he's had good years. Yes, he won a Super Bowl. He won 2 Super Bowls. He won 1 Super Bowl for Seattle, and he won 1 Super Bowl for the Patriots. Literally threw it right to him. And so, yes, he has the accolades. He's done it before, but at the same time, he's not in that top tier. You're not trading for the top-tier guy. You're not trading for an Aaron Rodgers. It's different. Levels.
I never considered him a top 5 guy in the league ever.
If he got traded to the Giants, I would be excited. I would appreciate. I would like that deal. I would appreciate as a Giant fan that they're at least trying to put something. I don't want to say a winning team, but at least entertainment for my viewing. Right. The only thing I will say is I heard that he left the party. He left Drake's house party at the Super Bowl. Did you hear this? He
No.
left Drake's house party at the Super Bowl because Future showed up and was performing, and Future's Ciara's ex-wife. And that, to me, is fucking little dick energy. So that made me a little upset. But other than that, that's where I'm at. So go ahead.
He makes Future's kid call him dad, dude.
Right. So you would think
Yeah,
that's weird.
so-
You would think that's weird, though. That, he would
I was
walk...
joking about
Yeah.
that, but he does raise that is
No,
his son.
I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
But you would think that would be weird how, to me, it should be more cordial instead of what...
Well, to me,
It doesn't matter.
to me, that's a diva thing, which plays up to the fact that he's going to want to be in a big city. I mean, I think now Pittsburgh's not a big city, but I think Russ makes more sense in Pittsburgh than Aaron Rodgers. does.
And I won't say another thing about this segment after this. I'll let you guys just say what you got to say. But if he goes to New York and he's like, I'll be on all the billboards, right? And he goes 5-13, right, with the Giants, which very plausible, right? No, 5-12, right? 5-12. 5-13 probably won't happen. 5-12.
I mean,
They're gonna spit on him in the street. He's not ready for that. He's not ready for that. People, all the people want bright lights. They all do. I shouldn't say all, but the people that want it, they want it, and they're like, oh, I can't wait. I would love to be in the city. I'd love to do. But guess what, dude? We swallow you whole. We swallow people whole. If you can't handle it,
We'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping Russell ends up on the Giants. That's it. I'm hoping we start off week 1 and he's quarterback. I have no interest in any other storyline, to be honest with you.
what do you give up for us? Daniel Jones.
I guess
and 2
Jones
ones?
and the 2 ones.
they don't want Jones.
Yeah.
They don't want Jones.
Yeah, I know, but
Well,
you gotta give
so
him something.
they might not want Jones particularly, but last year when we were doing this fucking song and dance, they wanted a starting caliber quarterback and 2 ones. Daniel Jones is a starting caliber, not a very good one, but a starting caliber quarterback and 2 ones.
Nah, it's not. It's not. That's not it, dog. I think 2-1s does it straight.
So why not throw Danny Jones in then?
No, I think if I'm Seattle, I'm like, puh, I don't want
You
that.
could take him and cut him.
Geno Smith is a capable starter, dude.
Cut that out. No, he's not.
Yeah, you can't be
No,
saying
he's not. But when he did,
outlandish shit like
he
that.
didn't do much. He didn't do much worse or better than Russ when he did fill in this year.
Nauseating.
That's anything else? That's it, right?
I got my little tidbit.
Well, let's hear it.
First of all, in its hypothetical, if he goes to New York and that's a 5-13, that's a big dick
5
swing.
and 12. 5 and 12.
5-12. That's a big dick swing with a very small dick. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's gross.
I don't really understand the comparison, but I'm a little confused.
It's not there,
It'll
pal.
make sense.
Like,
It's not there, pal.
like,
All right.
All right, let's close it.
No,
So-
Number two thing,
Oh,
I brought it up earlier. Why does the Colts not look like a destination to you guys? Let me ask you guys, what's your opinion? Why is that not a place for him?
For who?
For Russell Wilson.
I think Russell Wilson would make a lot of sense in Indianapolis.
but
We only brush on this. Can you give me a little more?
he needs more, dude. Give the fucking child more. Listen, here's what I'll say. We just said, and this is all speculation, that he wants to be in a big city, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Indy's a big city, dude.
what can Indy offer in this deal?
This is what I'm
They
saying.
don't have a first this year.
We just said it's going to probably take 2 1s. They don't have a first this year. So now what are you going to... You're going to take your fucking first from 2023 and from 2024 and offer that? Even if you were crazy enough to offer that, even if you were, the Seahawks aren't going to want to wait. They haven't had a first-round pick for 2 straight years now. They're not going to want to wait a whole nother offseason to see any kind of ROI on the trade. That's why I don't think Indy... Unless they're going to start throwing players, but what players are you going to trade? Like, I just don't think it would work from a trade value
it's not basketball.
aspect.
You're not going to sign and trade Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying? It's
I mean,
not,
No, that's
They
completely
do sign and
understandable.
trades in the NFL, but not often.
no, not. It's not regularity like it is in the NBA.
Now I bring up the concept of the Rams strategy. Does that not... You can't see that for the Colts? That's not a... Is Russ not that guy to
No,
to get
I
you
don't
there?
think Russ is
Not
that
with
guy.
Jonathan Taylor, not with the receiving core getting...
That's not what
There.
that's not what it's about. What it's about is what I just said. I don't think they have enough value to offer back to Seattle to bring Russell there in a trade without hurting their opportunity that you're just saying that they would have to go win. I don't think like the Rams could piss away the picks. They had the picks to piss away. They don't pick until the 4th or 5th round in the draft this year. Those were also Von Miller. They wanted to cut, right? Von Miller was going to be cut if they didn't find a trade partner for him. And Stafford, they had to give up an extra one to get rid of Goff's contract. So, like...
If you
I just took
offer,
off one.
listen. If
And they were also dealing with the team, with the Stafford deal. The Lions knew it was over.
oh yeah, 100%.
The Lions knew it was over. It was time to flip it.
It was time to rebuild a rebuild.
No one in Seattle, I don't think Pete Carroll thinks it's time to flip it around. Everybody who's like a winner who has one always thinks we're a few pieces away and coaching the guys up from turning this thing around. Especially when you got a guy like
Well,
us,
that trade would signify the rebuild.
for sure.
I just say this: if you take a second this year, a first next year, a second next year, and then a first the following, like you could get him. Like you can get him. You know what I mean? Anybody can get anybody, right? In theory, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes could even be taken from some realm, right? You could. I bet you could. If you don't succeed, like the Rams GM did, now you're talking. Oh, Carson Wentz didn't work out. Now you're talking. You're never getting hired in football again. Like, if you miss on something like that, yes, the Rams have proven that a formula can work. It's to be taken incredibly carefully. Like, that doesn't mean everybody should just go for broke. It's very calculated. It's very careful. I don't feel like Russell Wilson is Matt Stafford. I don't. If Russell Wilson was that guy that got traded last year instead of Matt Stafford, I don't think Jimmy would say, Russell Wilson's going to win multiple Super Bowls on the Rams.
No. And we're getting off base here. We're pulling it all in real quick. The Colts, I don't think they're like the Rams were very clearly one dude away.
Yeah.
I don't think the Colts are very clearly one dude away. Like, yes, they probably would have done well if Wentz was average, but we're not talking about this as a Super Bowl team if Wentz just didn't throw that one interception. You know what I'm saying?
So the gimmick
there are
is
more holes to be filled. It's not just one dude. The Rams were very clearly get a dude and you're good.
but the gimmick is the only difference between the Colts and the Rams, in my opinion, is star power. Like, I feel like they have equally good defense, offense, special teams, and then if you want to even break it down further, line play, D-backs, and the whole nine, right? But they don't have a Cooper Kupp. They have a Michael Pittman. They don't have a Jalen Ramsey, but they have a I don't even know, blah blah blah, whatever.
I know what you're saying. Just to touch on that lightly, like, I'll put it this way: Aaron Donald, best player in the league at his position.
Yes.
Jalen Ramsey,
yes,
at least debatably the best player.
He's the best player in his position without
Von Miller, one of the best players in the league at his position.
At one point, he was.
Is Cooper Kupp the best player at his position?
Yes.
This week?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna say no.
Who is the best player at their position on the Colts? It's not Darius Leonard, and he's the closest one.
It could be. Oh my God, the offensive.
After this year, we might be saying Jonathan Taylor.
Right now,
who's the offensive lineman?
Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
that guy.
No, all right, Quentin Nelson, and you could say Jonathan Taylor.
All right. Well, this has been fun. We're running a little long now. We got to pull in the reins. It's the end of our second season.
Yeah.
It's been a little crazy, a little chaotic. We're now in our third studio, and we're expecting to be in a fourth within the next fucking 18 months, probably. Thank you to the three of you for giving me your time every week. Thank you to the viewers. We are up like 1,000% in plays this year from last year, so thank you for you guys for listening to us and sticking around. Thanks to obviously Emily Short and Vinny Catronio for doing stuff on the back end for us, making this all possible. And special shout out to my parents for allowing us to use the studio space last year. The Zangies got the shout out. This year, Bill and Ann got the shout out.
Just doing what we can.
We're doing our best here. That's the show. That's the season. We're not going to go as radio silent this offseason as we did last year. We're going to stay involved in as many ways as possible. So look for new shit. Peace out.